Welcome to the A to B podcast.
This is after 7 years.
Monitors, why do we do this? We need to get a
man,
monitor on here. We need to get a monitor on here. I don't care, former, just not from 1967.
I'm gonna address the camera because I want to talk right now directly to the people at MMEA.
Why do we do this?
Up at headquarters Marine Corps. Crazy. I swear to you guys, this interview was not planned. I did not know this about Sean. This is the first time that I ever talking about this stuff, right? Yet you have two Marines in the same room that would have loved to do 20, regardless of our entrepreneurship journeys. We would have loved to do 20 years plus in the Marine Corps to serve our country, yet because of the things that you are saying out there and you are not fulfilling, you are taking out the people that literally are the future of the Marine Corps. So let that sink in, and I hope that even though you don't answer Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps or Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Smith, I hope that you see this message, and I hope that you take some freaking action, because while people are blowing smoke up your ass, telling you right now that everything is great and we're meeting our mission, we're not retaining the right Marines. And this is to show that we are not working hard enough to retain our Marines. And hopefully that hits you in the face.
Why are you so mad about that?
I'm so mad, man, because we always talk about that we want to serve our country. Yeah. You have two individuals right here, very successful, whether inside of the Marine Corps and outside of the Marine Corps, because the Marine Corps did not make us successful. They gave us the tools to make us successful, but guess what? We are successful whether we are inside of the Marine Corps or outside of the Marine Corps. And I think that goes for everybody that's in this building right now. You know, and this is the people that the Marine Corps should be retaining, because we want to make our institution, whatever it is that we represent at the time, better than what it currently is.
Here's the deal, and you and I have talked about this, Albert. You know, everybody talks about talent management, and everybody knows that it's a joke because the monitors, maybe I'm wrong, some act like they don't care. And we have very talented people in this room, like Albert said. Two of them wanted to do 20. So if you're a monitor, educate us. What are we missing? What pieces to the puzzle with our limited experience, and I'm being serious, are we missing that we don't see? What are our blind spots? Because you're fired up.
I get emotional, man. I'll tell you this, man. I get super emotional. And let me tell you why I get emotional, man, because this fucked up my mental health. Damn. Like this, I get emotional with this thing because this fucked up my mental health. I joined the Marine Corps and I kept re-enlisting in the Marine Corps, not because I needed the Marine Corps, because I knew I could be successful after recruiting. I knew I could be successful outside of the Marine Corps. I was serving the Marine Corps because I believed in the institution.
Okay. Let me play devil's advocate. What is there a scenario? Is there an answer that your monitor could have given you to make you accept something other than what you wanted?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I gave the monitor.
You just didn't want to get freaking the Heisman.
I gave the monitor 5 options, 5 different options. 5.
Do you think it was like his way or her? Was it, I don't know, male or female? Was it your monitor's way of, like, you know, abusing their position? Do you think?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know, because it got to a point that it got over the monitor's head.
Really?
You know, yeah, it got over the monitor's head, and the same dude. This is crazy. You know, I don't remember the colonel's name, but the colonel that was in charge in 2022
in MMEA
of MMEA, you received a phone call from my colonel, because I was in the room. So you receive a phone call from my colonel, and
Albert's getting personal.
a couple of weeks prior to that, you were preaching to all the commanders aboard Camp Pendleton. You were preaching that talent management was a priority, and that we were going to work with our Marines to reduce stress in our families and to work better for our Marines, so that way we can retain the proper Marines. Well, guess what? I'm calling freaking bullshit. because you have two people in this room, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of other people in this.
Yeah, drop a comment.
That in the comments that are either going to be like, well, because I already see what the haters are going to say. Well, like, well, you didn't join the Marine Corps because of this. And I understand that. But educate yourself. For all those vet bros are out there, educate yourself and look up what's something that's called Talent Management 2030. I've read it so much that I almost know it verbatim. There's a specific part in one of the paragraphs that talks specifically about the situation that Sean went through and the situation that I was going through. And guess what? When I asked for something, it wasn't because I wanted to, for my personal stuff. I was going by the directions that the Marine Corps was giving us. The left and right lateral limits that the Marine Corps was actually giving us. And then guess what? Oh, yeah, no, we're not going to do that for you. And then you got to understand the trickle effects that is causing. Because of a Marine like me, that I have more than one brain cell in my mind, I was like, oh, that's crazy, right? That you tell us to enforce policies, but you, Headquarters Marine Corps, get to pick and choose which policies that you're putting out.
This is where you lose.
Enforce.
This is where you lose faith in the institution.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened, and that's why I messed up because brother, and I don't know, this had to cause friction in your family because it caused friction in my family.
Absolutely.
You're right, though. There's going to be people, and they're going to, because this was a big in the 89, 99 community, you need to be worldwide deployable, worldwide service, anytime, anywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
And anytime you attempt to turn down a position, ooh, watch out.
Yeah, but deployment wasn't really the issue. I told my monitor.
Not deployment, just worldwide assignment.
Oh yeah,
was what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, because that was one of the things. One of the options that I gave to my monitors. Hey, listen, as long as there's opportunity for growth, you can actually stay in the same station.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. So I'm a gunny. There is a position up in MLG. I would love to fill. There is nobody better. That was a master arm position, so it showed growth. I was gonna be in zone for master arm, within this year, and I was like, okay, so let me go ahead and try to apply for this position. But I wasn't part of the good old boys club.
Oh, so it was a homie hookup.
It was a homie hookup, and I wasn't part of the good old boys club. And they was like, no, that's a master arm position. And I was like, okay, well, the staff NCOIC section the position for the staff NCOIC of my section is a gunny position. Per the TO, it is a gunner's arm position. Guess who has to bill it? Oh, a master arm. Oh, well then how come the master sergeant can be here but I can't be over there when I have way more experience, actual operational experience that any other master sergeants, and I'm willing to say that any of the other master gunnies out there. Shout out to Master Gunner Sergeant Rodriguez, because he was one of the few ones that actually fought for me, and Master Gunner Sergeant Mancio, shout out to him, and my colonel, fuck, I forgot her name. But my colonel also, she fought for me too. You see what I'm saying? Like great people, very few people that actually fought for me, man. And I do get emotional, man, because I had
So it's like it's a good thing because your chain of command was having your back.
Yeah, my
That's a good thing.
Of course. But if you see,
but you call BS because the monitors were just.
I told you that people at the top. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
Though. There was a lot of people, like for example, like some of the lower echelons that I had to go talk to them, to like the actual head honchos, because they will tell me, "Oh yeah, we got your back, we got your back." But as soon as I try to get pull out the "I got your back" cards, like, man, you told me you were gonna help me.
Yeah.
As soon as I started being like, man, are you gonna help me? And I started being
maybe
more
they're just a bunch of yes men.
That's
what
probably in my
that's what
voice.
MCDP 1 tells us not to be.
Yeah.
Can you relate to any of that, Sean?
Yo, absolutely. Yeah, I had those same issues, and my command supported me just as yours as well. So I'm very grateful for the leadership that I had. But like I said, it was essentially headquarters that was denying me the opportunity to stay with my family. And to me, my family was more important than anything else. So if they didn't give me the option to stay with them, and I get the needs of the Marine Corps as well, and like you said, like the haters are going to be talking about that in the comments, and I get that. But if I was more than willing to serve still in the Marine Corps,
yeah,
just have an opportunity to be with my family, still be able to deploy and all that great stuff, but just be able to live with them, that was ideal
Yeah,
because like
exactly.
you said, it created friction with
Yeah,
the
and
family as
here's
well.
one of the things, and Barry, this is probably something that that I appreciate. First of all, man, I really appreciate you sharing that personal aspect of you, man. I really appreciate that. But Barry, this goes back to one of the things that that I was gonna share with you or with you guys is, you know, I didn't. A lot of people is like, oh well, just do the 20. Doesn't care. Take the orders. Do the 20. But
You're
here's the-
so close. You have 6
you're
years.
so close. But here's the thing, man.
Whose voice was that? That was like very.
Well,
Okay.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
I kind of resumed them all in my, in
Okay,
my
he's like,
vocal cords.
just do
But
it.
Anyway,
You do 20.
what I told them was like, no, man, because I looked at a couple of sergeant majors' kids, and master gunnery sergeant kids, and I'm sorry if this hits home, man. But man, like I looked at it as like, man, if I do 20, my kid is gonna be 16, 17 years old. I'm gonna be absent in my kid's life in the molding phases of their life. And what good is it for me to have this 20-year illustrious Marine Corps career if my kids are gonna be dumbasses? If I don't provide where it matters for my kids, you know, and that's essentially, man. When I make the determination, like, no, man, like the Marine Corps says family, I'm gonna hold them up to that standard, and then all of a sudden, started becoming an inconvenience to the Marine Corps.
Yeah, because that's what we're born and bred to be is family, right? And then at a certain point, you know, when you were in Los Angeles in RS, you know, Redondo Beach, you weren't thinking about being married with a family and having to make this decision. And it was ingrained in us, right? We're a family,
Right.
right? And then all of a sudden, you actually have a family that you're like forced to make. I'm sorry you had to make that decision, but I think you made the right one.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think so
absolutely.
too. So going back, so transitioning, you guys already made the decision to get out of the military, right? How far ahead do you guys start? Because a lot of the people that I talk to, I don't know about you, but a lot of people that I talk to, they feel that as soon as they get out of the Marine Corps, they're going to open up this great business and everything is going to be great. And they're going to start making 6 figures. They're going to start making 6 figures off the bat because their buddy knows somebody.
Well, but the thing that they have in common that I heard both of them say was they started before they ever got out.
That's what that's the
That
question.
almost sounds to me like you guys, you know, you had a plan.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
how far in ahead did you guys start?
Yes.
Let's start with Dylan
Okay.
first.
So I started like 2 years prior. I told myself
Wow.
that my goal should be by 1 year out of the military. It should be so annoying to be in the military that because I'm already making all this money. I was like, it should just be annoying that I'm showing up to the military like a year out. That was my mentality 2 years in, and so I started 2 years in, but I didn't really start going hard until like 1 year out, and I
Okay.
was grinding my butt off like I had 2 months left.
Why did you grind so hard? Was there something that gave you like a sense of urgency? Like
Well,
it's do or die?
Yeah, because I had such a great pain point within my MOS and my job and my leadership that I used that as like rocket fuel to like tell me like, okay, I need to set something up for when I'm out, right? And that was literally my rocket fuel that led me to where I'm at right now.
How old are
Completely
you?
Relatable.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 22
Right now.
right now.
Wow. That's so, you know, that's exceptional.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, like for 22, 20, anything, that is exceptional. How old are you, Sean?
I just turned 27 yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, happy birthday.
Yeah, we're gonna drink a beer after that.
Yeah.
In your name, we just need an excuse, but we're gonna drink a beer.
I think that's exceptional for two 20-year-olds to, you know, or excuse me, in your 20s, you know, to have that much, you know, vision,
Oh yeah.
commitment, you know, and dedication, right? Because what I tell people all the time is like, dude, get good at being yourself. You know how to do that? Keep your freaking word. Do what you say you're gonna do.
Yeah.
100%.
It's really that simple, right? Learn how to be good at being you.
Absolutely.
And I would say that's something that's definitely propelled you guys to be successful.
Yeah. What about you, Sean? How early did you start?
I started a year and a half before I EAS. So I pretty much started a year and a half before I EAS. I got, obviously the beginning stages were not pretty, just like anything else. This is why it should take a lot of time before we get out of the military to start a business if that's what we want.
Yeah.
So the first few months was pretty much me doing trial and error and failing and falling on my face. And then it just started, getting to a point where right before I EAS, I was pretty much making my annual income monthly. So
Whoa.
Yeah.
Annual income monthly.
Yeah.
What would your Marines say about you guys? Would they say, you're good Marines, but man, that last year they just weren't even here. They were so focused on their business. Like, and I'm asking, like, what would your Marines say about you? Not just in that context, but also in that one.
Right. I'd say number one, I was still present at the unit because I was the staff NCO. IC of my unit, so I was still present. But anytime outside of the Marine Corps, I spent it either with my family or building my business. So all of my off time, I stopped going out with my friends. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing everything.
Listen to this, guys.
Right. I stopped drinking I was so focused.
You didn't stop drinking water. You stopped drinking.
Right. Liquor, tequila,
Tequila, wow, okay.
Specifically. But I stopped doing that. I stopped watching TV. I stopped aimlessly scrolling through social media. And then I just focused. So literally every hour outside of the daily Marine Corps was just focused on building business. And the reason why it was for me was for my family, because I saw what happened when my dad passed, and I said I don't want history to repeat ourselves and our family lineage, and that's what really woke me up. So that's kind of where my vision was created, like the start of my vision.
Got you. Now, I do have this question for you, right? You just said that you made 6 figures a month, pretty much. Okay?
Not yet, but yeah. So I wasn't making.
You were making you were making your annual salary monthly.
Salary. That's what.
Yes.
Thank you for the correction. So you're making your annual salary monthly. How much? We're talking about 50, 60, I know you guys probably PR trained, so you can go ahead, higher or lower. We'll take that answer.
Yeah, so I'd say maybe 6 months before I EAS, I started making around 20K a month, and then I got up to 30, 40, 50, so yeah.
Okay, so you've been able to develop a lot of money, or you've been able to get a lot of money over this past, year and a half that you've done this business, right? Would you consider yourself wealthy?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, right answer. All right, what about you, Dylan?
Definitely not. I'm not wealthy yet. I think there's a difference between being quote unquote rich and wealthy.
What is it?
So to me, right, being rich is essentially just having a lot of income. I think when you're wealthy, you're using that income to invest into assets that build your wealth. Yeah. In my eyes, that's my perspective.
So you have passive income where the money isn't in a pile where the pile runs out. You have money that's like a river that flows.
Exactly.
And you can just you can do whatever you want with that money because it's just going to keep coming.
Exactly. It's just like flowing, like you said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that doesn't, and so there's actually 4 pillars to wealth, right? So the 4 pillars to wealth are actually super important, because this is what you can actually consider as like, okay, am I actually on the right path, right? First of all, is duplicity. Can you duplicate your process? Can it be done repeatedly over and over again, right? Do you have a business equity? Meaning, do you own something, whether it be a patent, whether it be a business, whether it be whatever, right? Like you were saying, Barry, do you have residual income, passive income coming in? Because that's what's really going to be, that's what's going to generate the wealth. But not only that, do you have multiple sources of income? Because that is what's really going to dictate if you are wealthy and what's going to really generate the wealth, right? Because what is something that I see, and this is the reason why we have Sean Young in here, right, is because he has this lifestyle that he's driving fancy cars, he's wearing expensive suits, right? He's doing all of these things. But what a lot of people don't understand is, in order for you to be able to live that lifestyle, you need 2 things. You need money freedom and you need time freedom. Because I know a lot of realtors in my industry that are extremely rich. They make a lot of money. They close 30, 40 transactions a year. And 30, 40 transactions, that can translate to $300,000, or anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000 a year. But they don't have a life. Man, like because they're all of their time.
They're trading time for money.
They're trading time for money. So that is no lifestyle. And I ask you, do you have that type of, which lifestyle do you have right now?
Yeah, right now, I guess it depends on how other people perceived to be wealthy, like you said, because even though, let's just say I'm making $500,000 a year, just because I have $500,000 doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wealthy, because I could be investing all that money back into my business, right? Which I do invest a lot.
Yeah.
So right now, can I stop working and still be okay? Absolutely. I have enough passive income to live a great lifestyle, but I have such a big vision that I feel like I don't want to stop for a very long time until I get to a point where I'm at least making $1 million per month. That's my goal, to get to a point where I'm able to make that passive, and then I feel like I'll be okay. But obviously, we get to a point where we're gonna want to consistently grow. So
that amount of money sounds amazing to everybody out there, but tell me, how has money, to both of you guys, how has money changed your life? Has your view of money changed since having more of it?
So I don't believe that money necessarily. So money, people will say like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness. I think it does. I think when you have lots of money and you're able to give that money to somebody, right, to help them because they're in a difficult situation, that has brought me tons of joy, right?
Okay.
That has brought me real happiness. As far as like stress levels, right? Like there used to be a point where I was just, paycheck to paycheck, tons of stress, worrying about money all the time, right? When you get to a place where you just have this abundance of money coming in, right? It's like you don't have that stress, so you feel the relief of that, which in turn, to me, it's not necessarily producing happiness, but more so relief. So my views of money have definitely changed now that I can say I have somewhat, I wouldn't say real money, right? Because real money is a very broad term, but I'm making good money. My views have not necessarily changed, because I knew that once I started getting money, like it's just what you do with it, really, that can really produce real happiness and joy. So
Got you. What about you?
yeah, I feel like people don't want money. Like when people say that they want to attain all this money, that's not what they want. They want the lifestyle, like you said, freedom of time, freedom of location, and that's what people want the money for. And also, like you said, like people want that relief. So for me, the reason why I want to attain that level of wealth is not because I just want to have money, but it's because I come from an immigrant family as well. So I want to be able to help my family, just because we didn't really have anything growing up, and I have the ability to do so that my family doesn't. So if I have the ability to do so, and if I have a platform to be able to produce that kind of income, I feel selfish to not be able to utilize what I have to be able to give back to my family.
Where did your family immigrate from?
The Philippines.
Okay. What would you say to people out there who think that the American dream is dead?
It is not. We have so much opportunity here, and I feel like every single one of us here in this room, like you can literally turn nothing into something.
Yes.
So like his first $1,000 that he was talking about, like it came from nothing. He literally developed something from himself. He created his own service and offered it to someone and made money from it. So I feel like we have so much opportunity, but so many people, they like to play the victim mentality and feel like, oh, I don't have opportunity. You do have opportunity. Everyone has the same exact opportunity. If you want to get into personal training and get into real estate, get into my industry, get into personal branding and marketing, like literally anyone can do that. But it's about what are they actually going to take like that? That
Well,
jump?
I ask because I hear that all the time. The American dream is dead. But yet you're saying that your family came here from the Philippines, you joined the military, you're a Marine, and you got out, and now boom.
Yes.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, and it is. I think the American dream is dead for everyone that was born here in America.
Right.
Because they don't see, like, you've been to Iraq, we've been to different places, like we've been all across the United States, or all across the world, and we have a different view of what the American dream is, and we all come from different backgrounds, and unless you have experienced that, you have no idea what you're talking about, because you are entitled. You feel entitled, as you should be as a freaking American.
We're so entitled we can argue about who's more entitled. That's, seriously, that's how entitled we are.
Yeah.
Right?
So
That's how much privilege we have.
Exactly, and that's the only people that are saying this stuff is the people that are super entitled and have never seen or experienced anything different in their life. That's why a lot of people go to these missions to Africa, South America, and they come back completely different because they get a whole different perspective of life. And going into a little bit more of the industries that you were talking about, right? I'm in real estate, and the reason why we're talking about wealth right now is because I I'm a producing agent here in the state of California, and I say that very humbly because I saw that I'm trying to reach and help as many families as I can to educate them into home ownership and what it means to truly be a homeowner and how really that helps to develop that wealth formula that we were talking about, right? And I was looking at it for myself, and I was like, man, where I was at, in the team that I was at before, I was like, man, really good, but I feel that I can be impacting more. I feel I could be doing more. How can I impact the most amount of people in the least amount of time? And that's why I actually made the change. So I'm announcing right now, I just made the change to the EXP brokerage, you know, and we're working over here with Anthony Glenn and the group. It's called 10X Vets. We actually have an event coming up on October 14th. Shout out, please, everyone, go sign up for that event. It's called the 10X Vet Wealth Formula, okay?
Where's it at and what's it about?
So it's gonna be in San Diego. The link is gonna be in my bio. If you guys have any information or want more information, you simply go to the link in my bio. It says 10X Vets, and then go ahead and sign up, okay? But with that being said, a lot of people, what they don't see in real estate is that you buy a home. Now you have an asset,
Right.
an appreciating asset, right? And with that appreciating asset, what a lot of people don't see is that, okay, perfect. As long as everything is running smoothly, everything is great, fine and dandy. But you still have a $600,000, $700,000 mortgage that you still have to pay, plus all your cars, your debt, and all that stuff. And then once you realize, like, damn, that $500,000 life insurance that the Marine Corps, God forbid something happens to you, that $500,000 life insurance policy that the Marine Corps had is not enough, because I still had credit card debt, I still had my card payments, and the next thing you know, that takes up around, let's say, $60,000 to $100,000 of your insurance policy, and then now you're short $250,000 to pay off your home. Guys, this is real. I'll share a personal story with you guys. When I joined the Marine Corps, I was getting ready to deploy. And with the 11th MEU, we talked about that deployment in the past. And I was in the back of a 7-ton when I received a phone call from my grandma's phone number. But it wasn't my grandma. It was one of my cousins that they barely even see each other, right? And then I pick up the phone. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm ready to go. I was literally on the 7-ton on the way to the ship. And then I receive a phone call from my cousin. And then he stays quiet. And then he says, he's gone. Man, I'm sorry, man. I'm getting emotional. So, and I was like, what are you talking about, dude? And he's like, he's gone. My grandfather, healthy, he was in his low 60s. I think he was 58 years old at the time that this happened. Died of a heart attack. He, within that last year, he had taken out equity out of his house. So he put a second, he took what's called a cash out refinance to open up a restaurant in Puerto Rico. Successful restaurant. And came out that he was in all of this debt, and he only had a $50,000 insurance policy. So my grandma lost her house. They had to go into bankruptcy. It wasn't really a fun time for my family. And even though I wanted to help, there was really nothing that I could do to help, So that goes into the business that you're on now, Sean, right?
Yes.
And what is one of the, with the situation that I told you, do you encounter that?
Yeah.
Do you see that a lot?
Absolutely. I saw it in my own life, and that's the reason why I came into the industry that I'm in, is because I wanted to learn a lot more about how my family could be protected, because when my dad passed away, it was very unexpected as well. My dad went on a trip to Hawaii, and he got into an accident while hiking, and he had internal bleeding in his brain. So when I received the phone call as well, which was it'll be 2 years next month, I received that phone call, and I didn't know, what to do. I didn't know what my dad had in place for the family. So when I found out he had passed away, there was nothing to be left behind. So all that debt that he had, everything that was not paid off, it gets passed on to the family. That debt just doesn't just disappear.
Yeah.
So I found value in that, and that's what really helped me understand learning about finance and insurance and why it's so important in people's lives. And I don't think that, like, a lot of people don't think of the value of having a life insurance policy, but would you be okay not passing on a legacy? Would you be okay with passing on debt? Because in America, we pass more debt onto our families than we pass on wealth. And to me, that's an issue. To me, that's a big issue.
That's deep.
Oh yeah, you're passing on your problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Can I ask you guys both a really personal question?
Sure.
Have you guys ever been so depressed that you considered suicide?
Absolutely. I definitely been there.
Wow. Wow. What got you there? When was this?
So there was actually this time in the Marine Corps where my leadership was just so bad. I was like, I was like a PFC, right? I was a boot. And I was just like, I had such bad leadership, man. Like, it was just getting to my head. It was repetitively happening for every single day. I remember I would wake up in the morning in the barracks, and I just hated waking up, man. I was like, man, dude, I gotta go see them. They're gonna mess with me. They're gonna do all this. They're gonna haze all this and that, right? And it wasn't just hazing. It was like emotional abuse,
Like
literally.
what? Like what sticks out to you?
So like hazing, right, is like, to me, it's just kind of like, they're making you do push-ups, making you do dumb stuff, right? But like emotional abuse is like, I remember so I don't want to get too into it, but like I just remember my chain of command, I'm not going to say any names. They would pressure me so much because I was a performer, dude. Like as a PFC, I exhibited leadership skills. I exhibited so much that not like a typical PFC would exhibit. Yeah. And they always told me like, oh, always act their next rank, right? And I would. If anything, I was over exceeding the expectations. And my leadership was just very insecure. I learned about this. I did my research because I genuinely wanted to know why I was getting treated this way. Yeah. And I noticed that there's this thing called insecure leadership, right? Where leaders are they're not secure with who they are as people. And when they see somebody that has the potential to grow or do better than them, they have the tendency to push them down or like, put them through situations that are going to humiliate them, right? I've been humiliated so many times in the military, man. Like so many times in front of my whole platoon. Not like what you see on like Jarhead when he's like making you like play what scene I'm talking about. You guys seen Jarhead, right? It's not like that. It's more so like just like straight up calling me out, yelling at me, calling me names in front of the whole platoon. I was going through that on a consistent basis to the point where I broke down in my car one day and I just felt like, man, dude, like what is the point of this? Why did I join the Marine Corps? And I did want to kill myself. I was like, man, this is too much, man. I hate this. Like why I can't get out of this situation. So, and then I remember my corporal reached out to me because I was like showing those signs of like depression or whatever. And they didn't care, man. They reached out to me because they were just like, oh, just in case, like I guarantee you it's because like if I did kill myself, they didn't want to have like the investigation, right? So
they want to cover their ass.
Exactly. It was not genuine, right? But I received a text from like, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. BS, man. Because when I showed up, you were treating me like trash. You don't like it's ridiculous, man, right? And that was a point right there where I just was like, one of the points in my life where I was at rock bottom for sure. But God is good. I would pray. Even back then, I wasn't deep in my faith, but I still prayed because my grandmother, my mom always taught me to pray. Yeah. And I mean, they got me out of that situation, and ultimately, those situations made me stronger as a person. Oh yeah.
What do you feel was there like a turning point that you thought, okay, I can do this, I can get out of this, I'm climbing out of this hole?
So that's when the deployment happened. So that's when they were like, basically they grabbed me out of everybody in my shop and was like, you're going to Guam, you're going on ship, you're changing commands for a little bit, and you're not going to be here.
Was that a good thing?
At first, I thought it was going to be terrible, right? I had just gotten married, and I was like, so that's actually another thing, right? My mass sergeant, out of everyone in the shop, I told him I was getting married, and he's like, oh, you're getting married? No, you're not. You're getting deployed. And I was like, dude, like I just told you I was getting married. It's literally set. He's like, no, you're not. He's like, pack your stuff. You're leaving. And I was like, there's a Lance Corporal in the warehouse that has literally nothing going on with his life. Like, why can't you just say, no, you're going. You're going. Dude, it pissed me off, man. I was like...
No, I know I know you don't want to say names, but what were the ranks?
Mass sergeant. Dude, it was all my leadership,
It's crazy.
From top to bottom, my leadership failed me.
Always be talking about dinosaurs, but yeah, we never know where they at. Well, they're in some warehouse right now, 3043 in Camp Pendleton. You see what I'm saying? And you can probably start there and look for some of them, because I know there's a lot of them. Now with that, I kind of wanna bring it right. we always want to bring awareness, and the reason why we ask some of these questions, right, is to bring awareness, because there's some leaders out there in social media, or really in every warehouse and section in the Marine Corps, that always be like, yeah, everything is going great, right? But and I'm not saying that it's like super crazy things are going on, but we need to be conscious about these things, because how do we reduce the amount of suicides or unalivings that happen in the military? We talk about the symptoms.
Yep.
We openly talk about it. How do we fix adultery? We talk about the things that you shouldn't be doing. You know, we talk about all this stuff that nobody wants to talk about, and then we find out ways on how to fix them, right? Now, let's say worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario. There is, and I want to direct this question because I don't know, I genuinely don't know the answer, right? If a Marine or a service member unalives himself, how does that look at like on the insurance side?
So typically it's 2 years after having so for the SGLI, if I'm not mistaken, the SGLI won't pay out from suicide.
It will.
It will? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm wrong on that. I know, like, if you're getting your own personal life insurance policy, it's typically most companies will say after 2 years after you start the policy, if you commit suicide, then the insurance policy will pay out. So I don't know if it's like that with the SGLI as well after 2 years, or if it's immediate.
It's immediate.
Okay.
Well, there needs to be an investigation, because there was an investigation with Stasson Springs. So I think the part that they need to determine did it happen? Whatever happened in the line
What
of
case
duty.
was that? The
Stasson Springs, the guy from First Flight Battalion.
in his car.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there and again, I'm no expert. If you're an SGLI expert or you've been through this process before, let us know in the comments. But there's still an investigation conducted, and I think the main question that they asked was, did this happen in the line of duty? Or something related to the line of duty. Because I don't think if you decide to do that because your wife was cheating on you, that's nothing related to the line of duty. And if you did it, so again, there's like certain things.
Yeah, drop a comment if you're somebody
drop a
who
comment.
is very intimate with that process. What about you, Sean? Suicide, depression?
I've had depression, but not to the point where I thought of committed suicide. And the reason why is because my brother, when I have an older brother, he's 2 years older than me, and he attempted suicide when he was older, and I saw what it did to my mom. And my mom is the person who I love and care the most about in my life. So I saw what it did to her, and I knew that regardless of what I had going on in my life, I would never put her through that. So regardless of what it was, I knew that I can make it through for her, at least, right? At least for her. So regardless of what happened, in my unit, if I was going through stuff, if I had issues with relationships and stuff like that, I knew that I would be able to pull it through. So I did have, my down days, but I never thought of committed suicide.
Yeah, so if you're out there, you're a young Marine, you're a young person, you're a person of any age, and you're going through something right now, like we all do at different seasons, different times of our life, I want you to understand that, there is a way out, there is hope, never quit, continue to put one foot in front of the other. We're sharing the testimony of these two young men here because there's people out there right now serving in the military today that are feeling stuck, you're feeling trapped, you're feeling like there's no way out, you're feeling like nobody cares, you're feeling like nobody sees you. I'm telling you, we see you. We see you.
Yeah. And guys, I definitely appreciate you guys taking out of your time, coming out here, having this this was a roller coaster of emotions, a podcast for us. But what is the way ahead for you guys? So obviously, like, where do you see your business within the next 6 months to a year? Let's start with Dylan, then we'll go with Sean, and then we'll close it out.
Cool. 6 months, I definitely see myself making minimum $70,000 a month. If we're talking numbers wise, I'm gonna have a fully established team by then. We're moving really, really fast. We're scaling. Things are really, really great. In 1 year, I will be a 7-figure agency without a doubt. 100%.
Okay. Cool. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, the next 6 months, I'd say 83,000 a month. So pretty much $1 million in annual income. And then a year from now, I'd say 1.5. And then my long-term goal, I'd say like in the next 5 years, being able to have $1 million a month passive. So by the time I get to that point, then I'll be at my retirement.
Hell yeah.
Why do I feel like that 83,000 a month number is a number that you have envisioned, you've thought about it, you've established as a goal?
Yes, it is, because I feel like a lot of people, when they have an idea of what they want to attain, they don't think intentionally or specific about it. A lot of people are wandering generalities, and to be honest, not too many people are going to be able to attain. So if you're very specific, like let's just say I want to live in a house. I want to live in a mansion, but where do you want to live? I want to live on a mansion in Laguna Beach, on the hills, in this specific area code. So something that my wife and I do, we tour homes that we can't afford in the neighborhoods that we want to be in, so that we can get familiar with what it feels like.
Does this have anything to do with the law of attraction, Sean?
Absolutely.
100%. I love it. I love it. And I heard him say, a goal isn't a goal until you add one thing, specificity.
Yes.
I want to make a lot of money is not a goal. I want to make $83,000 a month is a goal. You put very specific things around that. Time, numbers, and you envision it.
Yes.
Like you said, you go to that house. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Dylan, where can people reach out to you if they're trying to, develop their brand and marketing?
100%. The best place you can reach me is on my Instagram. I respond to all my DMs. I love helping people. I always tell people on my page, like, hey, if you guys have any questions about life, anything self-improvement, business, whatever it is, I'd love to help. That would be, I mean, I don't know if you're going to drop my tag below or how that works.
We'll definitely
sure.
do it,
Yeah, but my Instagram, 100%.
What's your Instagram?
It's at I am Dylan Saldivar. Yeah.
I am Dylan Sandovar. Hey,
Yes, sir.
that's where you guys can reach him out. Sean, where can we reach out to you?
I'd say Instagram works best if you want to have a direct conversation. TikTok, I feel like it's a lot harder for me to reach people. There's just a lot of messages, but I try to get back to everybody. But I'd say Instagram would be the best place at @real_Sean Young.
The real_Sean Young. And listen, guys, maybe right now you don't need you're suffice, and you're happy with your, SGLI, policy that you have. But listen, maybe your dad, maybe your mom, your sister, whoever needs to get protected, because remember, man, like if something happens to them, that debt is being inherited, and you don't want to inherit that debt. So make sure, man, like go ahead, drop a follow, have that conversation with Sean. I'm pretty sure he will help you out to the best of his abilities to get exactly what is it that you need. Barry, where can they reach out to you?
You guys know the drill. Instagram @Bull5277, TikTok @Bull52772. Click the link in my bio, schedule a call. The call is free. The change is forever.
Hell yeah. And you guys know, please go to the link in my bio. You guys can go ahead and text me directly. If you guys have any real estate related questions, let us know and we will help you out. Whether you want to become an agent, whether you want to buy a home, whether you want to sell your home, we are here to help you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.